Alright, so this video will focus on 2.1. And I guess the very first thing we're going to do is kind of go through and copy and complete these statements using less than, greater than, or equal to. So pause the video and try to determine which is the larger value. Alright, so hopefully you went through this and you answered everything. The best thing to do whenever you have a lot of these is to try to make them so they're equal, like 2/3 and 4/6. It's very easy if you look over and you think, what if I make them both the same denominator? Well, if I multiply both by 2 on top and bottom, I now have 4/6. So therefore, they're actually equal, right? So that's that one. If I go over to 7 or 3/4, I know that 3/4 is 0.75. So if that's the case, then this would go this way. For this one, 1.5 or 2/3. Well, 1.5 is greater than 1, and 2/3 is less than 1. Therefore, 1.5 has to be bigger, right? This one, negative 0.6 and negative 1. So this is negative, remember. So if you think of a number line, you're going at 0. Let's just draw this out over here. So if I have 0 over here, and I have negative 1 over here, negative 0.6 is like over here somewhere, like kind of in the middle actually. In any case, it's actually closer to the 0 than the negative 1. Therefore, the point or the negative 0.6 is actually greater than negative 1. This one here, this is going to be 3.7. And we'll do the same thing here where I make it so it has the same denominator. Let's make them tenths, right? So I'll have over here, I'm going to have 10, and we'll make this one 8. So this is 3 8/10 and 3 7/10. Well, the 3 8/10 is larger. So this is going to be, it'll go this way. And then finally, this one here is negative 2.4. And this one here is also negative 2.4. I can figure that out by changing this over here to tenths. And if I multiply the bottom by 2, the top goes by 2, and that becomes 4. So this is negative 2.4 as well, so they're both equal. So there's that. So our essential question today is, how can you use a number line in order to order rational numbers? So if we look here, we have all these various numbers, and this is an activity that you'll actually be doing in class. So you're going to go through and try to figure out, if I look here, we have to order these from least to greatest, right? So if you look at them, the very first thing I know is I have some that are greater than 1, some that are less than 1, some that are negative, some that are positive. So I'm going to look here and figure out the ones that are greater than 1, or at least a number larger than 1, but it's a negative sign. So like negative 5/3. So I'll put down negative 5/3. That's the smallest one I have. The next one, look for another negative, and I'm going to have 0.5, so negative 0.5. And then I'm going to have negative 1/3, which is 0.33. And then I'm going to start getting larger, right? Like bigger than 0. So I'm going to have 0.5. And then finally I'm going to have the 1.25, which is greater than 1. So that's the values in order. I'm now going to look at this one over here and do the same kind of thing. So I'm going to have this would go in, 4 goes into 7 one full time and 3/4, so that's negative 1.75, right? So that will be the smallest because it's negative, so negative 1.75. Next one, another negative that I have is negative 1.3. Then I have negative 1/10. Then I have 1/2. And then I have 1.1. So that's what it is in order from least to greatest on this one. This is a game that we'll be playing in class, which will basically take all these numbers and it'll be like kind of a game of war to figure out who actually wins. Whoever has a larger card will get to take the other cards. So we'll be playing this in class. So then I look at this one, which is greater, A or B? This is where 0 is, and look at the number, like the position of the numbers here. So I'm going to say in this case, B is larger. Okay, in this one, B is also larger. And in this one, it sounds strange, but B is larger because if I look at 0, B is closer to 0. So these are both negative numbers, but this is a smaller negative number, therefore it is larger. We're going to order these from least to greatest, so take some time here. And here's the first one. Now pause the video, try to do the rest. All right, great. Thanks for taking your time to do that. Let's look. You're going to notice that I converted a lot of these to decimals in some cases. Sometimes I looked at them and they had the same denominator, so it was very easy to compare. And then finally, here we go. So make sure you check these over to see how you did. If you made a mistake, make sure that you address it and figure out where you went wrong. This here is the key idea. A rational number is a number that can be written as a over b, where a and b are both integers, and b is not equal to 0. Because if you divide by 0, give it a try and see what happens. It usually says no solution. So let's write these numbers as a decimal. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll take the whole number, which will be -2. And then I'll take 1 divided by 4, which is 0.25, right? And then I'll take 5/11 as a decimal, so I'll put my 11, goes in the 5. Right here. And then I'll subtract, and here are all the steps. And you'll notice that it keeps on going back and repeats. It's like 0.45, 45, 45, and so on. So that is my actual answer. Write the rational number as a decimal. So if I look here, I know it's got to be less than, well, the number will be 5 goes into 6 one full time at least. So it'll be like -1 point something. So if we look here, I have -1.2, -7.375, -2.7 repeating, and then finally 1.185 repeating. All right, so we'll take -0.26 or 26 hundredths. We'll write it as 26 over 100, and then we got to put it in lowest terms. So if I do that, I have -13/50ths. So write this decimal as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. So here are the various ones. Let's look at them for a second. How do I write this in simplest form? This is 7/10, so it's -7 over 10, 1/8, -3 1/10, and then -10.25 or -10 1/4. Again, you'd put this as 25 over 100, and then reduce down, and you'd have 1/4. That's how we get that. So if you look at these are the different fish, how the elevation in which they travel in the ocean. And it says which of the sea creatures are deeper than the whale. So the whale is -0.8. So which number here is smaller or deeper in the water than -0.8? Well, if you look at it, this right here is not going to be deeper. This one here is, because it's like 2, which is greater than 1, right? And this is going to be 10 goes into 13 one full time as well. So my suggestion, or my guess is squid and anglerfish will be deeper, but the shark will not be. Both the -2.2 and the -1.3 or less. So the squid and anglerfish are deeper than the whale. Again, the shark is not. So this last one, it says that the elevation of a dolphin is -1/10 of a kilometer. Which of the sea creatures is deeper than the dolphin? And if we look back, -1/10, they're all deeper than -1/10. So that's the answer here. All the sea creatures are deeper than the dolphin.